There's a 200-year-old Japanese concept that turned broke rice farmers into quiet millionaires. It's called Kakeibo. And no, it's not a scam, it's not crypto, and nobody's trying to sell you a Lambo made of teak. It's a household ledger. That's it, a notebook. And somehow this beat every 5 a.m. cold plunge guru on the internet combined. Stay till the end, because the third habit in this method is the one financial gurus specifically avoid teaching you, because it doesn't require buying their course. Subscribe, not because the algorithm needs it, though it does, but because you're the type of person who's bookmarked 17 finance videos and watched 0 of them. Hit like too. It's free. Unlike the $60 manifestation candle you bought last week that was supposed to smell like financial freedom and instead just smelled like vanilla and poor decisions. Today we're borrowing from a country where the average savings rate has historically crushed most Western economies, despite smaller average salaries. Yes, smaller salaries, bigger savings. Let that sit uncomfortably for a second. So no, this isn't about earning more. It's not a hustle. It's not start a dropshipping business at 2 a.m. It's a mindset, 4 questions, and 1 notebook that costs less than your oat milk latte. By the end of this video, you'll understand 1. The 4 questions that replace an entire budgeting app. 2. Why spending money and feeling rich are 2 completely unrelated events. 3. The sneaky traps that keep frugal people broke anyway. And 4, a genuinely doable 7-day challenge that doesn't require you to become a monk. And before we go further, if you want the fuller, no-fluff version of everything we covered today, plus worksheets and a 30-day tracker, I put it all together in an ebook called Finance Literacy for Beginners. Links in the comments. It's cheaper than the candle. It will not smell like anything, but it will actually work. Here's the problem. You don't have a spending problem. You have an invisibility problem. You genuinely do not know where your money goes. It's not gone, it's just wearing a disguise as small purchases that don't count. Kakeibo's first rule is brutally simple. Before you track a single yen, you write down the number, then you ask yourself 4 questions. How much money do I have? How much would I like to save? How much am I actually spending? And how can I improve? Notice something missing. There's no shame column, no you're terrible with money column. Just observation, which is deeply annoying because shame is so much easier than accountability. Kakeibo splits spending into 4 categories, not the boring fixed versus variable nonsense your bank app uses. Needs, rent, food, bills. Wants, the stuff you enjoy but don't need. Culture, books, classes, experiences, the stuff that makes you a person and not just a bill-paying machine. And extra, unexpected costs, gifts, emergencies. The genius part? You do this by hand, not an app, not a spreadsheet with 17 tabs you'll abandon by February 3rd. Pen, paper, because physically writing the number makes your brain register it as real instead of the abstract, weightless nothing that a tap-to-pay purchase feels like. And that's where we'll pick up in the next section, because once you can see the money, the real habits start, including the one trap that quietly wrecks even people who think they're doing everything right. But before traps, one more piece of the main idea, because it's the part everyone skips, the monthly theme. Every month before you spend a single yen, you pick 1 question, not a resolution, not get rich this year, 1 small specific theme. Notice how boring these are? That's the point. Nobody ever got financially ruined by a theme this unglamorous. Ruin requires excitement, and excitement is expensive. The theme isn't a rule you're punished for breaking. It's a lens. You look at every purchase through it for 30 days. That's it. And here's the wild part. Studies on habit formation consistently show that narrow, specific focus areas change behavior more than broad goals like save more money. Vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals produce actual receipts you can be proud of. Now, the traps, because you can do everything right. Track your spending, pick your theme, write in your little notebook like a well-adjusted adult, and still end up broke. Here's how. This is the trap where you spend money to feel like you're managing money. The productivity journal, the budgeting app with the annual plan, the financial mindset course taught by someone whose only asset is a ring light. You didn't save anything, you bought a costume.
You skip the $6 latte, feel like a finance genius, and reward yourself with a purchase 10 times larger than what you saved. This isn't discipline, this is your brain running a con on itself, and you happily signing the check. Kakeibo works because it forces monthly review. Most people never look, and subscriptions are specifically engineered to be forgettable. That's not an accident, that's a business model. The average person has far more active subscriptions than they think they do, and actively uses less than half of them. So the antidote to all three traps is the same boring habit. Once a month, you look. You actually look, not glance, not, yeah, I'll check it later. Look, write it down, and let the notebook do the emotional labor your denial's been doing for free. All right, theory's done. Here's your 7-day Kakeibo starter challenge. Each day, one small action. Nothing requires an app, a course, or giving up joy forever. Day 1. Write down, by hand, exactly how much money you have right now. Not roughly, exactly. This single act is proven to increase financial awareness more than any app notification ever will. Day 2, answer the 4 questions from earlier. How much do you have? How much do you want to save? How much are you actually spending? And how can you improve? 10 minutes, that's the whole assignment. Day 3, pick your one theme for the week. Small, boring, and specific. This is not the week you overhaul your entire personality. It's the week you skip one category of spending and notice how it feels.
Day 4. Before any non-essential purchase, you wait 24 hours. Just one day. Not a rule to punish you. A pause to catch you before your brain confuses "I want this" with "I need this." Roughly 70% of impulse purchases lose their appeal within 24 hours, which means most of your urgent wants are actually just bored wants wearing a disguise. Day 5, go through every subscription. Ask one honest question per line. Did I use this in the last month? If the answer is no, it's gone. Today. Not, I'll check if I miss it. You won't. You never do. Day 6, sort everything you spent this week into your 4 categories. Not to judge it, just to see it clearly. Most people are shocked by how much lands in one box and how little in another. That's not failure, that's data. Data doesn't have feelings. You do. Try to borrow its calm. Day 7, no new task, just reflection. 3 short lines. What worked, what didn't, what's next. This is the step almost everyone skips, and it's the one that actually turns a week into a habit instead of a phase. So let's recap, because I know at least 3 of you tuned out somewhere around minute 12 to check your bank balance out of guilt. That's fine. That's actually kind of the point. Kakeibo isn't a hack. It's not a 5-minute trick. It's a 200-year-old habit of simply looking at your money instead of flinching away from it. And the wild part? The people using it never needed a bigger salary. They needed better attention. If any part of this made you wince, good. Wincing is step 1. If you want the full system laid out, worksheets for the 4 questions, a printable version of the 4-category tracker, the complete 30-day version of this challenge, and a breakdown of the traps most people never catch, I put the whole thing together in an ebook called Finance Literacy for Beginners. It's not going to make you rich overnight. Nothing in this video will. But it will make you the kind of person who knows where their money goes, which, statistics show, already puts you ahead of most of the population. Links in the comments. Cheaper than a candle, smells like nothing, works like clockwork. Print this, stick it somewhere you'll actually see it, not your notes app where good intentions go to be forgotten alongside everything else you swore you'd get to. Look, you don't need a bigger paycheck to feel less broke. You need fewer blind spots. That's it. That's the entire Japanese secret nobody's selling you a $2,000 course to learn. If this helped, share it with the one friend who still thinks a budget is a personality flaw. Subscribe if you want more of this. Practical, a little mean, occasionally accurate. And go write down your number. Today, not Monday.